Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
You should be into this music, Matt.
I do. It's very reminiscent of Mike Jones from Penn Teller. Very reminiscent.
Very reminiscent. And we have to have the Las Vegas feel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
To everyone who's listening to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, all the latest and greatest and more, power985.com. Download the app, tune in on Alexa. We are available for free, so don't hesitate to connect and be part of the family. And if you happen to be an independent artist, we are looking for new music. We just uploaded, I believe, about 115 new tracks of independent artists. You may, but you most likely aren't. Probably hearing on the commercial, the commercialized, hijacked corporate radio stations that should be playing your music. But either way, we're going to be playing your music. So you can head over to your email and send us something to contact@power985.com or power98.5radio@gmail.com. We've got with me and all of us today, a very special guest. We've got Mr. Matt Donnelly. He's known as the Mind Noodler.
That's right.
Comedy, magic, and pure entertainment. And you're going to be in Easton, Pennsylvania coming up on the
March 20th.
20th already.
Yeah. Or 21st. March 21st.
21st. We got to get our photo op in before I leave for San Francisco.
Yeah. Come on by.
I'm serious.
Come on by the theater.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, I don't, whatever works for you coming over to the theater, whatever, I'll slap on something.
We usually load into a theater all day. So we're usually just, going queue to queue and stuff like that. But there's usually lots of time to grab a photo for sure. So, because I'm not in all the show. I'm part of a lineup of four comedy magicians. So plenty of time to grab a photo. I
think I saw the poster of that, but why aren't you on the poster of it over there at the theater?
I am on the poster.
Are you?
I guess I just look so different. Yeah. I'm the confused one looking at the card in midair.
Well, they need to put it up outside because it's not outside yet, because I walked over there yesterday.
Well, I'll make sure I'll send minions over there to just put my face all over the theater.
It belongs.
Just stickers of my face all over there.
Is it the first time you're going to be in Easton?
Yes. First time playing Easton, PA. Very excited. The show's selling pretty well. And so, yeah. It looks like it's going to be a really fun time. Plus, I'm sticking around because we'll get into it probably, but I used to do improv. And so an improv buddy lives about 20 minutes away. So I'm staying in town and doing an improv show the next night at Bethlehem, PA.
Very nice.
Yeah, so doing an improv show as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend for me.
Are you going to be over at the Eastonian?
For the improv show?
No, for when you're here in Easton. Are you just coming in and then going straight to Bethlehem?
I'll probably stay the night there somewhere, wherever they put me up.
All right. Probably be the Eastonian. You'll like it. You'll be at the other end of Easton, but it'll be in walking distance.
All right.
Yeah. You may be down by the Free Bridge, but there's a nice cafe down there. What's that?
I was like, I hope this all makes sense to your listeners because I'm just taking your word for it.
Yeah. If it doesn't, it will. We've got local listeners here in Pennsylvania and Jersey. Well, I mean, we're a New York station. Well, New York and Manchester, UK, but international. So
nice.
Yeah, this isn't just local radio. You think I would do that to you, Matt, by just putting you on local radio?
I'm just, I'm not going to be able to remember all these tips is all I'm saying. Where the cafe is and the walking distance. I'm not going to figure it out.
If you need any help, you got my number. I'll text you.
I appreciate it.
Once again, we've got Mr. Matt Donnelly, the Mind Noodler, comedy, magic, and pure entertainment. Do you want to drop your Instagram at all? And we can drop it afterwards as well. But do you feel like dropping it?
I'm at Mind Noodler, M-I-N-D, noodle with an R at the end. It's making fun of the actual fishing form of noodling for my sake. When I started, I was more of a blue collar kind of rugged entertainment person, and I wore overalls and stuff.
Did you?
For my first few years doing magic, I performed in overalls. And so I liked doing the Mind Noodler thing. And then just stuck. I evolved. Now I perform in the opposite way. I perform in a tuxedo. But I still use a lot of, I use like a giant fishing pole at my show, duck calls, all kinds of stuff. And so now with the tuxedo, it just looks like I'm being super weird. But I still have all the same rugged props, but now I perform in a tux.
It works. Your photos look incredible. Very incredible.
I actually did like a scientific thing, because I originally wore the tux just for a high-end close-up gigs that I get from time to time, where I have to perform for rich people. And then I did, there's this venue called the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, and it's a big magic venue, and when you're there, there's 7 different stages in there, and you go all over the place, and it's invite only, and it's this really prestigious magic venue in LA. And I was playing a week of shows there where you do 3 shows a night, Monday through Sunday. And so I did, one night in overalls, one night in a tuxedo, one night in overalls, another night in a tuxedo, one night, and I just did a total science on what was working better. And people were laughing so much harder at my stuff when I was in a tux than when I was in overalls. And it was really strange. And so I switched then at that moment.
It looks perfect because I've got the photos here. You guys will see them when we post them on social media, or even when you go to Matt's social media. I like the one where you're flipping the cards up.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
I like that one. You're extremely photogenic. I see the one in the overalls. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm a fun entertainer regardless of the outfit. It's either way. I want to communicate that I'm comedy first, fun first, and the magic is awesome. I have good tricks and stuff like that. But I think magic's one of the few art forms where an audience can be turned off because you think that they're trying to outsmart you, right? So like very rarely does like a guitarist do like a guitar solo, and you're like, oh, he thinks he's better than me. I don't like his music anymore, But with magicians, if you can get off on the wrong foot and you try to be too fancy or whatever, people go like, "You're not a magical person." I don't, and then they take magic as a challenge, and that's absolutely not what I do in any of my shows. I am there to create fun and give people a break and laugh and have a good time. So that's what I'm trying to communicate in all of my PR there, my photos and stuff.
Do you bring the Vegas vibe with you, Matt, or does it just happen to come out? Because normally most people don't realize this, but as a former local for 8 years in Vegas,
sure,
there is a vibe, and it is extremely different from LA, Easton, Pennsylvania, New York. So how would you say that your energy is like when it shows up when you perform?
I think I'm a combination of Las Vegas and where I'm from, which is New Jersey. So like I always laugh because whenever I perform on the East Coast, like when I'm performing or in the Northeast, so when I'm up in Easton or I'm playing Newark the night before, like I don't have to apologize for being sarcastic. Like that just comes across as a normal person when I'm in the Northeast. When I play other places in the country, I have to be a little more apologetic or explain where I'm from or do that kind of thing because sarcasm reads as a stronger trait in other places in the country. But for Vegas, I think so. I think I'm basically influenced by my mentors, right? So Penn and Teller, that's how I started in magic. I was a comedy writer for them. I wasn't a magician yet. I just was writing jokes for them, for their TV show, for their live show. And I also became really good friends with Piff the Magic Dragon, who took me on the road with him early in my career as an opener for him in comedy clubs. And so, we got Matt King as well as a good friend of mine out here. And these guys are comedy magicians. And Vegas has to be big and fun. And so I think, yes, I'm influenced by my mentors. And therefore, yes, I think I bring a Vegas style, a lot of visuals, a lot of distinct visuals to the tricks that I'm doing. Not a lot of cards, that kind of stuff. And I think, yes, I'm very influenced by that for sure.
So you don't carry the Vegas cliche that most people think of Vegas and magic and performing? Because it's different. It's changed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think people's perception of Vegas has changed a lot. I actually think Las Vegas is struggling with that now. I think, there's lots of news about how Vegas tourism is down. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think, we rely on foreign tourism out here. And so foreigners aren't coming out here. The economy's changed for a certain, percentage of the population. And then also Las Vegas has become kind of a normal city, as other states, especially between the financial crash of 2008 and the pandemic, most states have loosened up their gambling laws to allow gambling to create revenue for their states. And so a lot of places have changed gambling. So Vegas isn't the only game in town when it comes to gambling. And in turn, Vegas has turned around and gotten a hockey team, a football team, and a baseball team. And so with that, we become less distinct as this crazy town and more like very similar to a lot of other American cities. And so Vegas has also in some ways lost its edge a little bit as like a cool, rebellious getaway, right? Which, Vegas is always evolving, always changing. And so this too will pass. But it's interesting right now. I don't think Vegas is this crazy thing, this crazy place in people's minds anymore.
No, and I believe F1 changed that a lot. Do you feel?
F1, the Sphere, and the Raiders Stadium are the big game changers. Yeah, basically F1 became a trial run from what Vegas is now. So what happens is like F1 was like, what happens if the whole town dedicates itself to one event? Does that help? The answer, no. And then now the Sphere drives the majority of the traffic to people visiting, or Raiders games, or Golden Knights playoffs, that kind of stuff drive that. And so the whole town has to be dedicated to, like the Korean pop band BTS. When they came to town, they sold out 4 nights at the Raiders Stadium, right? So if your business wasn't attracted to people who liked that band, you weren't making any money that weekend, So like it's just Vegas has become like almost like a one event town all the time, and F1 was just kind of like the trial run of what the town has become. And I said again, like at the moment, this is what it's like right now. Vegas has changed so much. I moved here in 2008. It changes all the time. So, but right now it's strange. Right now it is really strange because all the businesses have to cater to whatever the particular event is. So if you run a restaurant or your Penn and Teller or your Cirque du Soleil, you're now the second activity that people may or may not do while they're in town. And that's just a weird place to be versus we used to just come here on a plane and figure out what you're going to do when you got here. See a couple of shows, go to a few nice restaurants, maybe hit a club, that kind of stuff. That kind of mentality is not really what's happening in town. People are here to do one thing, and they'll maybe sneak in a couple other things on their way out.
Oh, they're money conscious too.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the other weird thing that I think we're going to see Vegas adjust to sooner rather than later. But as my brother said so eloquently, that Vegas has become the Spirit Airlines of cities, where like wherever you go, you're just charged randomly for stuff, and you're like, "What the hell am I being charged for now?"
That is true. Let them know that is true.
And so I think Vegas has to adjust to that accordingly. And we're seeing already a couple of swings from Caesars and MGM where they're doing, 3-for-1 show packages and that kind of stuff. And so you're seeing a little bit of finally some real hospitality thinking coming back to the town instead of nickel and diming people. So I think that's going to change real soon in a way that people will know.
What are you guys going to do with now Max Crosby getting traded? What's going to happen with that?
Tough. It's tough. We had all these great players last year, and we really didn't win that many games at all. It was really tough to watch. Now, it's tough for me because I was very happy to adopt the Raiders as a secondary team as a Giants fan. We've been terrible for, ever since we won the Super Bowl in 2011. We've been terrible after that. We won one playoff game. We've had, 2 winning seasons. And by winning seasons, 9 and 8. We really have not been good at football for a very long time. And you know what? As someone who was alive for when we beat the undefeated Patriots, I'll take it. If we sold our soul, if it was 20 years of terrible seasons after you beat the undefeated Patriots, I will take it. It was amazing. But I adopted the Raiders as my hometown team. I got 2 kids. I was going to help maybe take them to a game. And then they turned around and they stunk too. It was a tough year to watch football for me.
You may have to switch to the Eagles.
That would be very difficult. It'd be very difficult to do.
Hey, if you can come and perform in Easton, PA, you can go and Bethlehem. You can maybe consider the Eagles.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, I wanted people to come out to the Easton show. Yes, fly Eagles fly. I am an entertainer and a shill first and a sports fan second. I'll tell you that much right now.
And you have an open mind as well, as all magicians usually do.
If that's what's preventing you from seeing the magic show, fly Eagles fly. Let's
fly,
go.
Eagles fly. I love that.
But Jalen Hurts gets a bad rap.
Not on your dime. Not on your dime. The Las Vegas Review Journal recently named you, Mr. Matt Donnelly, Las Vegas best up-and-coming comedy magician, and audiences across North America are quickly finding out why. Performing under the banner, the Mind Noodler, Matt delivers a smart, hilarious brand of magic built around storytelling, surprise, and genuine connection. I've got to ask, in all fairness,
Sure.
with all due respect, because obviously this was written a while back, but I wouldn't consider you up and coming anymore. I consider you seasoned, polished, and already set and ready.
You know what's funny? I was just laughing because I was like, gosh, that's been in my intro for a long time. And I was like, I guess I can't hang on to that forever. But I need an accolade to replace it, I guess. I need to find a nice media accolade to replace it.
It's perfect, but they can do an update. They usually do. They're supportive on locals.
Here's what I like about saying up-and-coming comedy magician. When I say up-and-coming, it means you won't know who I am when I walk out. And I'm okay with that. And then comedy, I want to make sure that they know that I'm a comedy first person. Again, like I was talking to some other comedy magician friends, and I talk about how, like, we have the term like alt rock, alternative rock, but we don't have the term alt magic. But my comedy magician friends and I, especially in the Jokers of Magic, we're doing like alt magic. Like, in other words, like, if you have an idea of magic, you're going to love how much we're not that idea, how we're doing something different than that. So you're still going to see impossible things, but none of it's meant to make you gasp or cry. Like, you're going to laugh first and laugh last and see impossible stuff in the middle, and it will amuse you. It will surprise you, and you will be, astounded by some of these magic tricks. You're going to be in the car talking about your favorite jokes on the way home more than how do they do blank on the way home. And so it's always interesting but I don't think I can lead the charge on alt magic. I don't think I'm big enough to lead that way. But Jokers of Magic is basically the first big swing at doing this, right? Like, we are comedy first and magic second, but our magic is still good. It's just our comedy is what it's about, which is also an uphill battle because a lot of people think of comedy magicians as cheesy, right? As like, funny guys doing puns and weird, handkerchief underwear visuals and that kind of stuff. And, my pitch when we were doing the Jokers of Magic is I wanted to say, not magician funny, actually funny. But they didn't want to go with that one. But that was my pitch for the slogan.
I like that. Why wouldn't they go with it? Seriously, Matt, I like it.
Know. I'm not the producer. I'm just in the cast. I'm not the producer.
What are they going to do now with David Copperfield retiring?
That's crazy. It's big news. Yeah, they just announced last week. David Copperfield's just doing. It's funny. He's like a month and a half, and he's doing like 120 shows. That guy does more shows than anyone on Earth. It's a strange time. And I think that's what I was talking about. Like, this town changes, and all of a sudden, it's going to be really weird. I mean, since I lived here, it's been, Penn and Teller and Copperfield in the magic world. And I moved here I moved here post Siegfried and Roy, right? And then Cirque du Soleil, 7 Cirque du Soleil shows here in town. I think we're down to 5 Cirque du Soleil shows, and Copperfield's closing. And I'm very curious what the Vegas entertainment scene is going to look like in 5 years, because I think it's just a weird time, and things are going to change. Copperfield obviously does so many shows, so if he decides to stop, it's not a mystery, as to why. But all the residency does is keep him off of his private island. So we'll see how it goes. He says he's up to something next. I don't know what that would be, but it is different. And again, it's strange for Penn and Teller because Penn and Teller, again, in that they've been together for 50 years. You want to talk about how long you're going to keep up and coming in Magic? It's like Penn and Teller have been the bad boys of Magic. They've basically been the bad boys or alternative to Copperfield, right? Like, so if you think Copperfield's like flashy with his hovering motorcycles and people disappearing and reappearing, Penn and Teller were this intellectual, funny opposite of that, right? And so with David retiring, it's like, who are Penn and Teller bouncing off of for rebellion? How are they still bad boys when they're the ones only ones left at the top here? So I don't know. It's a strange time.
And does Chris Angel fit into that category at all? Anywhere near you guys?
It's tough because he's a terrible person and his show is terrible. So I don't know how to actually rank him. He just has fame and he's an undeniable amount of fame. And so people will never stop buying tickets to him. I mean, he has his accolades that he brags about on his billboards that he paid for. It's just hard. He's just a really good marketer. And so he'll be around. But I don't know where to put him in any kind of actual ranking of merit.
And Carrot Top is still there.
Carrot Top is still there. And you know what? He works super hard. When I moved out here, from New York, right? And so everybody wants to be a comedy snob about Carrot Top, right? And I was one of them. And it was actually Penn's wife, Emily, who said, "No, you have to see Carrot Top." And I said, I don't think I do. And she said, "No, I'm taking you to Carrot Top." And I went to a show, and it is hysterical. And then I started doing the same thing. So all my friends from the New York comedy scene and the LA comedy scene, when they come visit me, I would be like, "Hey, we should go see Carrot Top." And they would be like, I don't want to see a prop comic or whatever. And they would come, and he would be hysterical, and we'd all be laughing like crazy. And what's amazing is he changes up his show all the time. He is constantly writing new material and new stuff for like whatever the modern news stories are. He's very, very he's a very hardworking, very funny guy. And so, sure, he's still the punchline for if you want to make fun of a comedian or something like that. But I love his show, and I think he's so funny.
I agree with you. I appreciate him. And
yeah,
he took me by surprise.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah. That's it. He surprised everybody, because if you think you know comedy, then you want to look down on him. Mm-hmm. And if you ever meet him, he'll make you feel like you're making fun of him too. He'll make you feel like you're talking down to him. He's surprisingly a very low status interactor, and it's shocking. It kind of takes you off guard. But yeah, he's a good guy. Any
plans to pair up with anyone at all, or Penn and Teller? Have you ever met them? Considered doing a skit with them?
Well, both of my appearances on Fool Us, I involved Penn and Teller in my act, and so I did. Those are two things I'm very proud of: is bringing them up on stage and getting to be on stage with them. Those are things that I'll cherish the rest of my life. I'm also in their master class. One of the chapters is on them teaching me how to do a trick in their master class. So I've gotten to share the stage with them a few times, and that'll always be some of my greatest accomplishments. One of the coolest things I did was we did a tour called Penn and Teller Present The Foolers, and then we covered their tricks. So I got to play either Penn or Teller's part in a few of their iconic routines, and that was amazing. I'd say the biggest challenge of that one was nail gun. It's one thing to get permission to do nail gun. It's another thing to actually figure out how to perform holding a nail gun, memorizing a pattern, and holding a nail gun to your neck and your groin. So that was probably the coolest accomplishment of my life, is covering Penn's nail gun routine. But yeah, I come from an improv background. I was an improv comedy guy in New York at Price's Brigade and People's Improv Theater, and even back in Chicago City Limits, back when they were off Broadway. I studied there. And so I like doing stuff as a group, right? And so these larger tours, like the Jokers of Magic, are so fun for me because I get to share the stage with people and have fun with people. Yeah, I enjoy doing team stuff. I don't know if I'll ever officially have a magic partner. I don't know how that would work, but doing these larger tours and larger lineups is super fun.
I think you ought to reach out to, this is something that popped in my head or came to me, is the Practical Jokers. For some reason, I like Brian Quinn stands out. I have a feeling like you and him doing something together would be seriously an episode.
They were around the People's Improv Theater, the Tenderloins. They were around the People's Improv Theater when I was in New York.
Okay.
And they were very funny then. They're very funny now. And I used to get compared to Quinn a lot facially. We both got big Irish mugs. So, yeah. But those guys are super funny. I mean, I've definitely done, routines where I'll bring people up and, we'll do comedy as part of a magic trick and that kind of stuff. So, I'm open. I'm open to collaboration, I guess is what I'm saying, Stephen. I'm a collaborator by nature. And so I'm down. I'm down for any project.
Have you ever been offered a show, TV show, reality show, anything?
No, gosh, I've tried hard. No. I would say you don't start doing magic at 39 years old because everything went right in your life, So in New York, I was on commercials. I was doing independent films, small parts on TV shows, and doing my best to try to climb that ladder. But it never broke for me the way it did for my friends. I had friends go on to either write for late night television or be on Saturday Night Live or go off and do their own TV shows. A lot of my friends that I performed with in New York are very, very successful people. And it just never broke that way for me. And that's just the way show business works. I'm very happy now, being a successful magician and married with my 2 children out in Las Vegas is lovely, so I wouldn't change a thing. Once the kids are born, once the kids are born, you smash that time machine. So that's the way it goes for me. So
are they still young? How old are they?
Right now I have 12 and 10.
Wow, they are young. Wow.
They still like me and they still laugh at my jokes. So I got like maybe a year or 2 left of that, and then we'll see what happens after that.
When you think about how you were raised and now being a dad, is there a huge difference from your role model or role models to how you are as a father?
Wow, that's certainly a deep question. I'm very lucky, first and foremost, that I had an amazing father. My mother died when I was 5, and so he really had to pick up a lot of slack. I kind of used to always wonder like who he'd be if he was just a regular suburban New Jersey dad, but we'll never know. And so he stepped up and he raised my brothers and I, and did just an awesome job. And so I really admire him and still emulate him and still talk to him about stuff. So I'd say first and foremost, I just have to say I'm super lucky that I have a great dad, and I still talk to him, and he's helped me numerous times along the way. I'm one of 6 kids, and I remember after my first kid was born and I saw what my wife went through and everything, I just called him and I said, "Why would you do this more than once? Why would you do this again? How would you go through this so many times? This is a nightmare. This is crazy. I can't believe this is how we all end up on the earth. This is so weird."
Right, because you're different than him. I mean, they're lucky.
Yeah,
you're lucky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I said, I had a crazy time in my 20s trying to do everything, right? Trying to be on TV, trying to be in movies, trying to write stuff, pitch stuff, putting on all kinds of shows, and nothing broke. And so looking back at that time, it is, I would say I felt less lucky, but it made me who I am now, and it made me really invincible as a performer. I perform in all kinds of situations for all kinds of audiences, and they're not ready for someone to be as improvisational and crowd work prepared as I am when they see a magician. And so it's become like a huge superpower for me, my ability to mess around and just really have a conversation with people on stage. So it's all paid off, right? It's all now worth it. So I wish I could just pat my 20-year-old self on the back and say, "Take a deep breath, buddy."
You should, seriously, especially when you're enjoying your coffee. I feel from you. You know, I was adopted, and I can always tell who is a very good parent. And from our first conversation, it was impactful. We weren't on the phone for hours. We had a quick conversation. But, you know, when you grow up that way and you're in foster care and you finally get a family that loves you and sees the bigger picture, I can tell that you're a visual person, that you're intuitive, and you're more than just happiness and magic and prestige. There is a teacher inside of you. There's a role model inside of you, and your children are extraordinarily lucky to be able to have you, to be able to have a parent such as you in their life. And I promise you this, any television film, any opportunity that comes my way, and I know that you're someone that needs to be inserted into that, you're going to get a phone call from me. So you get a phone call from me. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, you want to go to Starbucks? It's going to be for something important, because I don't call people unless it's important.
Well, one thing I learned from Penn and Teller is it's a yes. Those guys say yes to everything, so I'll say yes to everything.
Don't give up. I'm serious, Matt.
I'm not. Like, you know, one of the reasons why I moved over to Magic was because I was a family guy, right? I comedy, and I did a lot of improv and some stand up, and I enjoy stand up. It's just the lifestyle of stand up and how to be successful at stand up is such a crazy, crazy grind. The art of it is hard. The lifestyle of it is hard. The making money of it is hard. And I couldn't take those kinds of risks with two children. I just couldn't do it. And Magic is very different from a profession standpoint, right? Like, you can do strolling magic at restaurants where you table hop at a nice restaurant. People consider magic to be a fancy thing. So I can't table hop joke telling at a fancy restaurant. I can't go table to table and ask them about if they've been on an airplane. You know, I can do shows at libraries for kids, right? And there are friends of mine who that's what they do for a living, is they do 200 libraries a year. You can't do that as a comedian, you know. Corporate gigs, private gigs, you know, like, I thought forever it'd be really fun to entertain people with my improv show at corporates and cruise ships and stuff like that. And yes, I could book a few, but not a lot. And that's where Magic is. Magic allows you to make some money all the time. And I think that's what makes it different than comedy. Comedy, all the money is at the top. And that's not the case with Magic. So it's been a fascinating pursuit, and a successful one for me and my family, which is nice.
This is strange. It came to my mind. Can you sing?
So, like, I this is always the funny thing. Like, I look like I call myself a tubby lumberjack, right? I look like a rugged guy. I remember, but I went to performing arts high school. I went to an MFA program for acting. And so, absolutely, I tried my hand at musical theater. And before I became a magician, I was in 50 Shades, the musical parody at Bally's, where I played Christian Grey. And so I was the lead of a musical.
Wow, seriously? That's not even in my notes.
I don't put it out there. It's a weird curveball, and I find it distracting in the bio, so I don't usually put it in my bio.
Yeah, hello. How long was the run? How long did it go for?
We did almost 2 years, 800 shows, about 2 years at Bally's. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. I mean, for me, it was a big break. I am very lucky, you know, again, in New York, tough. My wife got hired by Jersey Boys, so we moved out here to Las Vegas. At the time, I got in, and then I auditioned and got into Wayne Brady's show, and I got to perform improv with Wayne Brady, where you had to sing a lot in that show as well. And I got to perform in that show at the Venetian, and then he got that game show when he closed up shop, and so 50 Shades was kind of my next break. There was a little bit of time there, and 50 Shades, the parody, was written by this Chicago improv team, Baby Wants Candy. It was really funny. I auditioned for a lot of stuff out here in Vegas that claims to be comedy that I don't find to be funny at all. And I remember when I got the script and the audition, I was like, oh no, I really want this. This is actually funny. This is really funny. This is very funny. And I need to get this role.
And you got it.
I need to book this. Yeah. But I took heaven and earth. I had friends work with me on dancing. I had a singing coach. I really committed everything to doing it. Yeah.
Did you ever think of, and this is my whole point of why I'm asking, have you ever considered, Matt, to tie in music, performing, and magic and comedy all together?
I have a little bit. I almost thought about just adding some improv section to my show to give the audience a break from magic, right? Because magic makes you anticipate. Magic is about like bringing people along and filling the room with tension at particular points and stuff. And so, in my original first show, where I was actually a character called Hillbill, the Psychic Hillbilly, where I first put in overalls, that was all mentalism, which means it's all predictions. And so I had dance breaks with Billy dancers in the show. And Teller saw the show and he said, every mentalist should have dancers in their show. It's just a great break from anticipating all the time, right? And so I've thought about that. In terms of actually singing while doing magic, I don't know. Nothing about that feels great in my heart. Tricks are already long enough, right?
Yeah.
So like adding songs will just really, really bring things out. I have a friend, Nathan, fan, who's really good at celebrity impersonations, and he turned that into a prediction thing where he had a list of celebrities and he would have them select one. And so he goes through all the celebrities trying to figure out which one the person selected. Mm-hmm. And that's a really brilliant routine. And I thought that was a really good use of that. I did one time for a run at the castle. We were going to do a bit with my buddy Nick, who also had improv background. We were going to try to do a card trick where the audience member is our arms. And we're going to try to get through a whole routine. But that ended up being really hard to do. So
bring the dancers, seriously.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, if I could do a bigger, showier show, I would do that, and I would do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. No, my wife can sing, and I love live music. If I had a bigger show, the first thing I would add is probably a keyboard player or piano player to my show. I love live music. Whenever I play the Chicago Magic Lounge out in Chicago, they have keyboard live piano through the evening, and I always say, I'm in Chicago, so you must play improv shows. Yeah? And they say, yeah. And I go, good, play whatever you want for my show. Just have at it. And I love it. Yeah.
If they ever need to cast for Beauty and the Beast, I would like to have you play Gaston.
Oh, that would be fun.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah, those roles are great because there's no ceiling on those.
No.
I got to play Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream. That was one where it's like there's no, when you're trying to be an overzealous, ambitious actor, which is what that character is. There's no ceiling. There's nothing too over the top because of someone who's desperate for attention and wants it. The character just wants to be recognized as a star. That's just a very fun comedic energy to play. Yeah.
And you're that. And you are a star.
Well, thank you.
This went by fast. We're going on 45 minutes?
Yeah. If it's too much, I can shut up.
No, not at all. Is there anything that you want to be able to let the audience know, the viewers know, that I haven't asked you that's important to you?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I would say, you spoke so deeply about beyond just being funny. I do, outside of magic, I do podcasts, right? And I have Matt and Matt's Ice Cream Social. I'm co-host of Penn Jillette's podcast, Penn Sunday School. And one thing that taught me was that being, like this show, being in people's ears is really important. It's a role, right? And so, when you're spending time with people in their car or walking their dog or at the gym or washing dishes, whatever, like that's a very different space. And to be part of that space matters. And I considered it, and do consider it to this day, a service, right? Keeping people company, making them feel like they're hanging out with friends matters. And so I take that with me to my shows, right? I think life is hard for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. If they're spending money to be in a theater with me, I want to make sure that they just have like a really great time and just taking a total break from the stresses of life. So there'll be zero political satire. There'll be zero, reminding, whatever. It is all silly, self-deprecating. I don't make audience members look bad. I don't try to make them feel bad. I don't try to win any kind of interactions at their expense. I am experienced enough where I want it to be, when it comes to being the butt of a joke, I want me to be the butt of the joke. And I want the audience to just actually have an hour of a complete timeout from the stresses of their lives.
You're the perfect person for that and to do that.
Thank you, Steve. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it.
Easton, Pennsylvania, 23rd of March at the State Theater, statetheater.org.
21st, yeah.
Or 21st, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
21st.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday the 21st. Statetheater.org. And what else do you want to add to that?
I'll just say, we'll be adding more dates to the Jokers of Magic lineup. So just, check out that website. And then for my individual shows where I'm out and about, I just announce all that on my Instagram page. So when I do smaller theaters, like I'll be playing, Philadelphia and Maryland in July and that kind of stuff. So all that's always on my Mind Noodler Instagram.
And you're coming out here, but leaving to go back to Vegas, but then you're coming back out here again.
Yeah, I go out to the Northeast a lot. People like me there. They book me there. It's what works. So I like to play all the other places in the country too. I just happen to be popular in the Northeast.
Or we got to find you now a television show or reality show or some sort of show or commercial.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You know what? State Farm. You'd be perfect for the State Farm guy.
Yeah. I kind of look like that infomercial guy a little bit too. So maybe, I could maybe just sell some late night products or something.
There's a lot you can do, and I feel it. I believe it. I see it. Everything that's led you up to where you're at now, Matt, is not. It's not getting you ready. You're already ready for television and film and all of these things. It's about the timing, and I feel and believe that when you step into it, onto the set, in the filming, I believe what it really needs to reflect is why the timing is important. As I'm processing what I'm feeling and interpreting right now, is that it needs to make sense why you stepped away from your family, your children, in order to do it, because you're someone, what I feel, is not going to tolerate or allow yourself to be in a position to regret sacrificing life and its quality with your family just for a quick laugh.
That makes sense. I hear that. It almost felt like a little bit of a challenge, Steve. That felt like you were challenging me a little bit on that one, which is also interesting. So I both will take the compliment and the challenge of what you just said.
Because it makes a difference when children are older to be able to briefly step away than when they're younger.
Yeah, I mean that's it, and it is one of the things where all the things that are happening now. I do wish I happened before I had kids, and I do wish I was home more, that kind of stuff. But everybody is always playing that balance, and also when I am home, I'm home, so I'm there for everything, right? I'm there for every school pickup, practice, and that kind of stuff. So I get to spend a lot more of the actual quality time in shorter bursts than people who work office jobs or things like that. So I'm still fortunate in other ways, but everyone's always working out that balance, right?
Mm-hmm. And also they're at the perfect age to where they understand just by a conversation. It's not like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old and
where they just cry and
dad's got to go to work.
Yeah. But as I joked with my friend Kurt Bronneler, who's a big stand-up, and we were joking about having kids. We used to do improv together, and I was like, you know, we start losing all of our friends, and we start shutting everyone out of our lives to just focus all on our kids, and they start to become these awesome people that you love to joke around with, and then they get friends, and they just want to spend time with their friends and not their family. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wait, I got rid of all of my friends for you, but now you're turning around and taking all these friends, and now I'm left with nobody. And so it's a tough battle with the kids. It's tough.
You're doing well, and I feel the balance, and that's why I felt to say that. Not that you needed reminding of it. It's just that it just feels good to just say, if it's anywhere within your mind that, you know, briefly stepping away, your kids are at a perfect age to have a nice, youthful yet young adult conversation to have that respect. Because as someone who had parents that couldn't be there, you know, a mom who was a nurse and my dad was in the military, we did not have these conversations. I understood it, but no one really sat down to say, or to remind me, Steven, you're important enough for us to have this conversation of why we have to be gone for so long to work to make money. It's just that, we're going to work today. You're going to need to stay home and cook dinner for yourself, or dinner's made, just heat it in a microwave for 3 minutes. I'm being serious.
I know. And that's so tough. And I think it is, I guess, in my value system to want to be more than that, for sure.
And you are.
Appreciate it.
Any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, this was deeper than the average interview that I do, and that's okay with me. I don't mind it. It was very fun talking to you, and I'm thrilled you reached out. This was great. I'd
like to do it again. Let's not make this a one-hit wonder.
No problem. I love talking to you. So yeah, let's do it again.
Easton, Pennsylvania, State Theater, statetheater.org. Get your tickets. Matt Donnelly will be here on March 21st. Then he's going to be making his way to Bethlehem. Head on over to his Instagram at Mind Noodler, MindNoodler. Do we cover everything?
As far as I know, yes.
Except your blood type, your height, your shoe size. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, Steven.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to Live on Air with Steven Cuoco. All the latest and greatest on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, power985.com. This episode is also going to air on Biz Talk Radio. That's biztalkradio.com. Download the app, tune in on Alexa. Remember, we always want you to be here first on and here at Power 98.5. If you happen to miss the live interview, you can always go to any of your favorite podcast platforms and just type in the search Live on Air with Steven Cuoco. And don't forget, Easton Theater, Saturday, March 21st, Mr. Matt Donnelly. I'm heading over. I'm getting my photo op with you. I don't care what they say. I'm walking in. We'll use the stage. We'll use the curtain. We'll do everything. And do you know I haven't been in the State Theater in probably over 25 years?
Oh, well, there you go. We'll see what's changed.
We'll see what's changed. All right. Thank you to everyone. Take care. Live well. Enjoy well. It's 70 plus degrees outside. It's warm in Vegas. It's warm here in New Jersey, Easton area. Go out and have fun.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.